I'm Marcy.
And I'm Michelle.
And we're
the CoolLime Girls.
So we're so glad that you're here with us today because we really have a passion around what we're going to talk to you about. And that is, we really want to help any woman out there who finds themselves just sort of stuck and unhappy with some aspect of your health. And that's different for each of us probably. You know, some people, it's the fitness. You know, maybe in the past you were really active and you've just kind of gotten out of that. Maybe you've lost the amount of time to do it, but you really want to increase and get back to that level of fitness that you had at one time. Some people, it might be you've put on a couple extra pounds and your weight is what you're really struggling with. Other people, you know, sometimes it's just your general mindset and you just, you know, you don't feel good about yourself anymore. And that's really something that you want to change. So each morning you get up and are just, you know, happy to take on another day. So whatever aspect of your health that you're struggling with right now, we're here to help you make that different.
And what do we mean by making things different? We mean getting confident and being in control of the decisions that you're making so that your life is going in the direction that you want it to. Because maybe right now you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit like, how on earth do I have time to worry about me and focus on me when I have, whether it's full-time work in or out of the home, plus everything else, keeping my relationships where they need to be, keeping my kids' homework done and to all their ball games, as well as the dogs groomed and the house cleaned, and you're just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Can you take that time for you to get yourself back in front of your life so that you aren't just going along and letting life happen to you, that you're actually making very specific choices that are right for you to get you living and moving in that direction that you want.
And maybe you feel guilty about that. We've talked to so many women.
Guilt.
And actually, you know, we share that sometimes too, is that, you know, we do have so many people to take care of that sometimes we feel guilty about taking care of ourselves because we do have such limited time. There are so many things that keep us busy. And to take that extra time out, you know, sometimes just doesn't feel like it's what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to put everyone first.
But there's also one other piece that really keeps us from getting back in front of our life, and that's being afraid. Being afraid that you aren't perfect. Because you're talking to a recovering perfectionist here, I actually think.
And her perfectionist friend.
Exactly. And busting that illusion that you aren't able to be super mom, super employee, super wife,
super cook, super fitness instructor, super sexy, you know, hot bedroom chick, everything perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, what we're talking about is just most of the time, we are harder on ourselves than anybody else could ever be. And it's breaking out of that mode of holding yourself back and making your future different. That's what we're here to help you with.
Right. We can help you make it different. So now maybe we've hit on something that resonates with you. Some of those challenges you yourself are dealing with today. And what I'd like to do right now is to share with you a little bit about my story because I've been there. I've felt all of those challenges and I've learned a lot and I've gotten to the other side. What did it look like to me and how did it show up? Well, it showed up in ways that I didn't expect. It really showed up as major problems in my most important relationships. On my quest to perfection, what I found was I really wasn't being perfect at much of anything. And actually I was taking out all of my negativity and my lack of perfection on everybody around me. But it didn't just stop there. I started seeing other signs. I stopped exercising. I stopped sleeping well. I really wasn't feeding my body with anything much better than boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese. And I did finally reach that point that I knew I had to do something. I had to take control. You know, I started where a lot of people start. I started to focus on what was wrong on the outside of me. I started focusing on really getting my weight where it needed to be, really trying to learn and understand more about fitness, about nutrition, and how I could make some changes there. And I did make some very important changes from what I've learned. But through that whole process of trying to fix the outside, I realized that my true challenge and what was causing me to feel like I wasn't going in the right direction, and really what was causing maybe some of the underlying issues I was having with my most important relationships was all up here. Once I learned that I could take control of that I could decide exactly what I wanted for my life, and I could put it into place, and I could live it, my entire life changed.
So you've heard Michelle's story, and I'd like to share my story with you as well, because I think, it'll be interesting to see for everyone how there are lots of similarities between what Michelle and I have gone through, but then there are things that are very specific to each one of us and things that we struggle with differently. And, one of the big things revolves around perfection, and that was a big part of kind of what I held on to. Where it was different for me was where Michelle had affected her outside relationships outside of her. I focused all of my stress internally. And how that looked in my life was I ended up at a cardiologist's office. Turned out it was just heart palpitations, which aren't serious, but they felt pretty darn serious when they were going on. Sitting there at the doctor's office, he asked me if I was under stress, and I said no. Because when I looked externally at my life, I wasn't doing anything different than everyone else around me. I mean, I had a full-time job, I had a full-time family, I had a lot of volunteer things that I did, helped out at the kids' school. None of that looked abnormal. I knew it was a lot of things, and I knew it did cause some anxiety in my life, but I didn't, I guess, take it seriously. And that's when, like Michelle, I just, I started reading a lot of books, and I felt like my work was a lot of what stress was causing me. So a lot of the books I started out reading were business books and things like that. But what I started realizing was a lot of the same concepts in those books for business really translate into all areas of your life, and it all gets back to taking control of what you want, taking responsibility for your own choices and actions, and basically, moving in the direction that you want to move in. And, once I got this mindset, so many things started to change, and, it spilled over into then I was overweight. So I started looking at ways to lose weight. I started getting active again and getting into fitness, and I changed my eating habits. It just like one thing that I started, felt so much better. It led to another thing, and I just wanted to keep it going. And like Michelle said, it doesn't happen overnight. It wasn't, one day I was this way, had this huge transformation, and the next day I was different.
It's a process.
I can't tell you just how great it feels to know, and Michelle can attest to this too, that you're in control of where you're going. So even when things come up, and I'm not saying I have a perfect life, Michelle wouldn't tell you she has a perfect life now. The same stuff still happens in our lives, but we know how to deal with it now. And we know how to make it different. Yeah.
Now, we just shared with you how we transformed our lives, how we went from living a life where we really weren't healthy and happy to living our CoolLime life, which is our healthiest and happiest life.
All that gets back to the quality of life, how much you enjoy life, how comfortable you are with yourself, and it gets back to the fact that your health does matter at the core of it all. And the last thing is, you're not flawed.
You're not broken.
You're not broken.
You don't need to be fixed. Where you are right now, maybe that's the trigger. Maybe that's the thing that wakes you up or helps you identify and start to re-engage in your health and in your wellness.
And to say I got here because of choices I made along the way. So if I got here by certain choices, then just by changing my choices that I'm making, I can go in a different direction. So, you are where you are because you took yourself there. I mean, that's the honest truth of it. But that doesn't mean you're stupid, it doesn't mean you're lazy, it doesn't mean any of that. It just means
you're there.
You're there. And so, to evaluate the choices that you made to get there, and to learn how to make different choices to take you where you want to go.
We've developed a program that we're really proud and excited to offer you called CoolLime U. It really is your path to living your CoolLime life, your healthiest and your happiest life. You will learn the fundamentals of health, what we call the CoolLime 5. And those CoolLime 5 are: number 1, keep a positive mindset. Number 2, maintain your ideal weight. Number 3, get regular physical activity. Number 4, maintain the right nutrition. And number 5, get support. Because what we've found is those 5 fundamentals, through all the research that we've done, through all the experiences we've had, the failures and the successes, at the core of living your CoolLime life, of reaching your healthiest and happiest life, is living those 5 things. And
you get those 5 down and you're golden.
So what does that really look like? What does this 90-day process look like? It starts first with probably the most fundamental piece, and that is building your health and happiness vision. And that is the fundamental piece. That's where you start, and that is where everything else is built off of. So you start with your health and happiness vision. And we help you dig, we help you uncover, we help you find that which is right for you, what your vision is, not what ours is, and not what we're telling you you should be, because that's not what we're doing. You are creating that. You are deciding where that is and where you're going. The next piece is taking these big goals for where you want your health to be and creating a plan, basically your roadmap to your destination.
And when you look at these, you may start out with fitness and say you're a person that you've never even really been into fitness, you've never exercised a lot. We take you through the basic fundamentals, all the learning and the teaching of just kind of the fundamentals around what is strength training, what is cardio training,
how much do you
need, and then take you through exercises that help you uncover, what you want for your life.
We help you get a firm grasp and understanding of exactly how to set the goals that are right for you, how to assess where you are, and how to continue building.
And just think about if you're in a place right now where you are just trying to keep up, you're not even setting any goals because you can't even focus on that. Just think about, 90 days is about 12 weeks. If you had 12 different goals you worked on over the next 90 days, how would your life be different if you go from nothing to suddenly you've completed 12 new goals?
And this process is simple. We can teach you how to do it. And the other big piece, the other big win for you, you can apply this same process to any change you want to make.
So, we give you a process, and you could go through these 90 days and follow the process on a superficial level and learn, you learn a few things about health and fitness and this and that, and, you come out with a little more knowledge. But unless you're really willing to get in there, do some introspective thought and digging and, be ready to get really honest.
And just be okay with just taking a look at where you are right now.
So if you are ready to do this work, to get in there and get engaged with what you want out of life and where you want to go, and build a process that will change your life, you are so ready for CoolLime U. And this is we're not kidding when we say this is going to change the direction of your life. So, what are you going to do? We've told you all this stuff. What's the first thing to do? And the first thing to do is below this video here,
right below,
you'll see a link to download our ebook. It's completely free. It's where you need to start. It goes into more detail than we can share in this video.
It's the foundation of all of the philosophies of what a CoolLime life is and the CoolLime 5.
So click on that ebook. Like we said, it's totally free. And read it, dig into it. So download the ebook and get started
today
on your journey to a new life, to what we call your CoolLime life.
Because you can, from wherever you are now, you can get to where you want to be. We did it. You can do it. So come join us.